Welcome to Poets from the Neighborhood. My name is Sandy Coomer.
And I'm David M. Harris. We hope you'll enjoy the poems we'll be reading today, poems written by your friends and neighbors. Will the Waves Die? By Barbara E. Jung. Dreaming from one barrier islet to the next, I wade through wind and sand, crabs, pipers, and salted grass. Buoyant and weighted by turns, see beauty as no more real than pleasure, and joy is not even a word without life to know it. From sorrow to dread, I dream, through flexing blades and blood-consuming parasites. Coarse roses contain sand and time. The inlets are cluttered with limbs and trunks and rotting spines. Clouds sink through the sand. Elation rises. What will become of all this when I wake? I dream from day to night to next. We die. Then what will wade the grass in its dreams?
Shadows by Nancy Posey. When shadows lengthen, reminding us of metaphors, we avoid talk of age and death and dying. When winter hangs around too long, we begin to mistrust the certainty of spring. As rebirth and new life tease us, then frost mocks our early efforts at planting gardens and flowers. We fall captive to time. When we wake early, surprised by the coyote call behind the house, we witness the sunrise, shy sister to the sunset. Together we rise, pour the first cup of coffee, and move to the porch, bearing witness to life, more a roundabout than a road.
A poem is a way of leaning outside the self, by Jeff Hardin. I rub sleep from my eyes, stare through windows, note the deer feeding, but let's not exaggerate too much how insignificance is the course of most lives, even mine. One more day breaks open like those stones piled near tree roots when I was 7. I was convinced great wealth lay somewhere in the dust, smoothed away. Some wrong turn years ago explains why two people meet on the page, share the same thoughts for a while, and then set about remaking the concept of time. Just last week, an owl stretched a field nearby, and then the one beyond that, and even these words, still following, can't reach where that silence sails on. It helps to think Bach left a few notes unassembled, and that leaning a little outside myself, I catch how they brighten cherry blooms and hold them aloft.
The Deer of Port Townsend by Raymond Pressin. The deer are quite tame and plentiful in Port Townsend, a delight to tourists from the mainland, but a bane to resident gardeners who lose their freshman tomatoes and sophomore zucchini to herds of soft, silent raiders. A doe practically poses for me behind the "For Rent" sign planted in the front yard of a pale blue cottage, as if you could rent a deer any more than you could rent a cloud or make a down payment on a sunrise. A few years back, I did manage to put a midnight rainstorm on layaway for pickup in late June when the beans and melons crave natural water, knowing a pair of fawns behind the folds of a draping fog would enjoy freshly washed vegetables.
The Home for Aged Dogs, a poem of my own. We live at the home for aged dogs with blind Viola and the two whose ages we do not know. Absent now are all the dogs we brought to this house, and soon Viola, no longer able to explore her world, our town, and towns beyond. She lies resigned under my desk, waiting for some final burst of clarity and light. Until then, she dogs me around the house. For her, we cannot move the furniture. To live with dogs is to know love and loyalty. To live with dogs is to know death.
Shopping for sweaters. And I wrote this poem. I watch her hold it to her chest, measuring the fit. Shell pink against narrow shoulders, ribbed cuff at wrist. I ask about the frayed neckline and hem. She says distressed, which is the style now, ruined on purpose to make a statement. I examine the little bites taken out of the weave, what a moth would do in a closet, dark eyes, the brush of wings. I ask if the edges will further unravel, and she shrugs as if to say it doesn't matter, as if to remind me she's alone again, starting over, her life like a pile of discards on the changing room floor. She wears the past like a rip, torn by hands that forgot how to fold and stack. We move to the scarves, crimson and rust, what she'll wear against her throat, against the coming cold. Thank you for watching Poets from the Neighborhood. We hope you'll join us again soon.